Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first virtual episode of STEAMRolled, a series of fun and easy STEM science experiments and crafts. We'll be rolling out a new episode every month, so be on the lookout. So, to jump right into it, this month we'll be conducting a rainbow plant experiment. But before we get to the fun part, let's do some learning. For most living things, there are a few basic requirements everything needs to survive. Humans need food, water, and some type of shelter in order to meet our most basic needs. Plants are the same. They also need food, water, and somewhere to grow. There are two ways that plants get nutrients. The first way is through their roots. Roots absorb water and minerals from the soil, and it goes all throughout the plant. The second way is called photosynthesis. In the top left corner, you'll see an equation for photosynthesis, which looks like a bunch of letters and numbers sort of mashed together. Really, it's just a way to understand what the plant is using to create food. Plants absorb a gas called carbon dioxide from the air, and when that reacts with water absorbed from the roots and sunlight, it creates two things: food, which is also sometimes called sugar or carbohydrates, and oxygen, which is put back into the air that humans breathe. For the experiment today, we're going to focus on how water and nutrients from soil travels through the plant. Even the very tops of plants need water, even if the tree is 100 feet tall. So how does it get there? Plants have little pathways inside called phloem and xylem. Think of phloem like a road. It transports the sugars made during photosynthesis up and down the plant so everything stays fed. Now think of xylem as a river. Rivers only flow in one direction, so the xylem transports water and other minerals from soil through the roots and to the rest of the plant so that photosynthesis can happen. And now there is one last bit before we get to the experiment, and that is to make an observation book. This is completely optional, but it is a great way to practice using the scientific method of making observations, asking questions, predicting the outcome of an experiment, and recording the results. For the observation book, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. There is no right way to make one. Just get creative and leave some blank space to write your hypothesis and observations after the experiment is done. I used whatever supplies I had lying around. I just grabbed 2 sheets of paper and folded each one in half before putting them together to make my book. Then I punched 3 holes in the paper and tied a string through each to hold it together. From there, all you need is something to write with or draw with, and you can record your observations. You can even use this book to do other experiments like going outside and drawing what you see. Finally, we have gotten to our rainbow plant experiment. In this experiment, you'll be able to see how colored water can travel to the leaves of celery and change the color even as the water evaporates. So let's go ahead and get started with our experiment. First, you're going to need a few supplies that you probably have in your house or you can easily get from the grocery store. This experiment is very quick and easy. There's not much setup and it doesn't get too messy. So here's what you need: celery, water, 2 to 5 large cups, different liquid food colorings, and a spoon. First, pour your water equally into your cups. Add 5 to 6 drops of different food coloring in each cup and stir to mix. Then you'll cut or break the white end of the celery so it's fresh, and you'll put 1 stalk per cup. Now all you have to do is wait. It can take up to 24 hours to see the color move to the leaves. In the meantime, use the observation book you made and record any changes you see each hour. So when you check your plants the next day, it'll look just like this, hopefully. The celery will have absorbed the different colors and you'll be able to see them in the leaves. And this is the process of the phloem and xylem moving water and minerals. Great job! Now that this experiment is done, you can still ask more questions and try the experiment in different ways. This is great if you've already made your observation book to go along with the experiment, because now you can write or draw all the different results if you try other methods. Some ideas might include the following questions. Does gel food coloring work the same way as liquid food coloring? Can you use a different vegetable or flour? Does it take longer for other plants to absorb the liquid and color? And finally, what happens using green food coloring on a green plant? Is there any difference? And that concludes our first episode. Thanks for watching, and join us next month for STEAMRolled on September 16th, where we'll learn all about inertia and try a very tricky experiment. Bye!